Hi, and welcome back to another tier list video. After I did the Arkham ones, I'm back with another one, and one I've always wanted to do because I have some takes about some Batman movies, and I never get to talk about them. So this is going to be Batman and Justice League. 13 movies from S to F. Let's just get started. So we're going to start with the 60s Batman. I think this is an A tier. Why is it an A tier? It's not a great movie, it's not a great film, it's nowhere near the best Batman movie, but holy shit, the memories I have with it. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Like, I love the dialogue, I love the campiness of the 60s Batman. I even went back and started watching the 60s show, and I love it so much. It's so fun. Adam West and Burt Ward are so good as Batman and Robin for that era. It was also a fun fact about the 60s show. They advertised it as Batman in color because at the time in the 60s, color TVs was still not fully adopted in the home. So people would watch this black and white show and it will say like it's in color, and if you go to somebody's house and they had a color TV and you watch Batman, it was so bright and beautiful and colorful. It made people go out and buy color TVs. It really worked, and it was made for all ages. Like, it was something that you can watch with your family, and for that, it's so important. And also historically, because at the time in the 60s, Batman has been running at that point for just less than 30 years. It only had a cult following, and Batman was actually almost discontinued. We almost never got Arkham, we never got these other fine movies down here. It managed, they were like, fuck it, we'll do Batman and try it. And this is why Batman is big, is because of the 60s show and the 66 movies. So it's A tier for historical, the campiness, I love it. It might not be the best Batman film ever, but it's one that's very important. So A tier for that. I think Batman 89 is clearly S tier. I'm also gonna put the Tim Burton movie here. You know what? I'm actually gonna move it to A, because I think Batman 89 and it's just slightly above Returns, but the casting from Tim Burton is perfect. The only other person I can think of that can claim they casted, if not better, is Christopher Nolan. I mean, Jack Nicholson as Joker steals the fucking show. Michael Keaton is such a good Bruce Wayne / Batman. Some people, I'll discuss it later, are really good Batman, but just don't land the Bruce Wayne part. So I have troubles with that. I always quote the "let's get nuts." You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Like, I love how they kind of add that humor from the 60s show. Tim Burton makes such cool, weird films. So much of it is practical, especially in Batman Returns. There's a lot of miniature sets that they use. It's just done brilliantly. I love the makeup on Joker. I love the story with Vicky Vale. I just think that they're such good films. And Batman Returns is just slightly below it. Batman Forever. Oops. What the fuck? Well, I found the code. Batman Forever is the memories want me to put in B tier. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I mean, I think it'll be, when you have Jim Carrey as the Riddler, as a good idea as that is on paper, you still have to remember that, like, if Jim Carrey's in it and he's over the top and you give him that over the topness, it becomes a Jim Carrey movie. This isn't like Truman Show, where you're watching Jim Carrey in a movie, but he's not over the top, so everything else can shine. But when Jim Carrey is over the top and he's like actively like taking up the spotlight, it just doesn't become a different like Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face is really good, but it's just outshined by Riddler. So it's just not, I don't know, just I don't understand. But I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I just don't think that compared to the other ones, it's as important, or, that's it. It started going back to the campy Batman, which a lot of people after 89 and Returns, originally Tim Burton was supposed to direct a third one, but did not. One thing I will say is, while other people agree, Batman, Mr. Kilmer, is an amazing Bruce. He plays Bruce Wayne so much better than he does Batman, in my opinion. Batman and Robin is gonna go in C tier too. You know, I'll put it in D tier. I don't think it's the worst thing ever made. Listen, I got hot takes coming up about what I think is the worst. Like, there's just some things that are just so dumb. I don't mind Poison Ivy. I love Uma Thurman. Obviously, she's great no matter what. If she's playing Poison Ivy or Maya Wallace or The Bride, I mean, she's great and she's gorgeous as hell. And Batgirl too. Oh my god. But like Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze is crazy. All the ice puns is it's funny and endearing the first or second time, but once you hear it over and over again, it becomes like, okay. But I definitely watched Forever way more than Batman and Robin, and I didn't mind Bane's inclusion, but like, that's not the Bane I want. I want the Nightfall Bane. You know, I want the Bane that's in the Arkham games. I didn't want that weird macho, I don't know how to describe it. Just look like a wrestler that would be in like Nacho Libre. Batman Begins, S tier. Great start to a trilogy. Scarecrow actually gave me nightmares. I had two boogeymen as a kid. One of them was Scarecrow, and the other was Ghostface. No, not Ghostface from Scream. Ghostface from Scary Movie. Just everyone's performance in it is so great. I mean, Michael Caine as Alfred. I mean, come on. Just so perfect. Alfred needs to be great. Alfred is so important to Batman as a character that if you fuck up Alfred, you're fucking up so many other things. And I'm proud to say that Michael Caine is perfect. I love his little insights into him helping the other governments and royalty. I love just like the fact that he goes along with what Bruce is doing, but like is also like kind of like making fun of him about that. I'm gonna talk more about this one right now with The Dark Knight going in S tier. I think both of these are better than 95, by the way. I don't know if that's controversial. And why I want to talk about both of them at the same time when it comes to the casting is just like Tim Burton, they knew how to cast. Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow, perfect. Absolutely perfect to Batman Begins. Christian Bale as Batman and Bruce Wayne, pretty good choice. I think he fit those movies very well for what they were going for. I think outside of those movies, it would be a weirder decision, but Christopher Nolan knows what the fuck he's doing. Heath Ledger as the Joker. I mean, he goes so forward and far into being the Joker that you would never recognize that it was Heath Ledger. Like, that's how good he did it. Like, you cannot recognize that. So the casting on point. I love the story between Begins and Night. It would have been the best duology of all of cinema. But with Rises, I think it makes it not the greatest trilogy. Duology, it would have been the greatest, in my opinion. But Dark Knight Rises is kind of where I'm like, okay. Because you have Batman retire at the end of Dark Knight, and I get that, and I get the story, and I feel like it was like a conclusion that I really liked, but like the whole thing with like the cop and he's supposed to be Robin and stuff, and like I don't know, it's just something. I do love, once again, the casting on point. I mean, Tom Hardy as Bane. Other than that, I mean, it's the one I don't go back to much. I just don't think it's as good as some people say it is, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of really good scenes, but the overall movie, I just don't think it vibes as good together as Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. And Dark Knight and Batman Begins being tied for like my favorite Batman movie ever. But that's why it's in B tier. You can chew me out for that. It's just something that I think the opening is very, very great. I don't think it's as good as Joker's entrance in The Dark Knight, but I mean, there is something special about Tom Hardy's Bane. So there's a lot of good, even great moments, but as a whole, I just don't see it landing as well as Batman Begins or Dark Knight. I'll put it in A tier, but it's a very low A tier, a very high B tier. But I'll put in B. It's a very high B, alright? Calm down. It's teetering, alright? Fuck. Let's just fill out the space a little bit. Batman v Superman. Both of these. Would you believe I watched that movie like 30 times and I fell asleep all 30 times? I think Batman v Superman is bad and it sucks. Oh my god. This is gonna hurt people. It's at least better than Batman v Superman, but I don't like Zack Snyder movies. Zack Snyder does not understand comic book movies. The only one he's made that's been relatively good is Watchmen, and it's only because he shot most of it panel to panel. Oh my god. He makes Superman look terrible. If there was Man of Steel in this, I would put that in F. I'm putting these in F. It sucks. I hate it. I don't care what order you put these in. I don't care. I'll put this in F2. I'll put the Snyder cut in D. But wow, I don't get why people like Zack Snyder movies. I like Zack Snyder as a person, but man, he is so dumb when it comes to Superman and Batman. I just don't get it. I don't get why we keep giving him chances to make movies. I was one of those people that wanted the Snyder cut. I was like, it cannot be this bad. It came out and I was like, this is just more like, sure, it's better. It wasn't a high bar to cross to begin with. Zack Snyder needs to stop making movies that are comic books and superheroes, because he just doesn't do it well. Talking about like, why can't Batman kill? Holy shit. Why? I can give you 20,000 reasons why. Because you take that rule away and you don't have Batman. That's not Batman. So you just destroying the character. That being said, I wish that we were able to give Ben Affleck another chance with Batman, because I think he is a really good Batman. I think that, let's say like Absolute Batman came out back then as like a comic book and they were to adapt it into a movie back then, Ben Affleck would be my number one choice. I think he has that build that I'm looking for. He has like, he clearly loves the character. So this is nothing on his performance over some of the other performances aren't good. I think Ben Affleck was a really good Batman. I even think some of the fight scenes in like Batman v Superman aren't bad. That's the one with like the warehouse scene, right? Where he's like on the ceiling and stuff. That's cool. But fuck, it bores me to death. I don't care. So if you think they're really, really good, please tell me why you think so, and I will go back and watch it with that in mind and try to like look at a lot more of the good bits that I'm just missing, that I'm just not picking up on. But good thing we didn't end with that, because the Batman is S tier. I also don't know in my head if I like it better than Begins or Dark Knight, but I think it deserves to be up there. I'm so excited for Matt Reeves to do the Batman Part 2. Hopefully James Gunn's like Batman Brave of the Bold is good too. I have no worries about James Gunn when it comes to Batman. He understands superheroes. He clearly understood Superman that Zack Snyder didn't, and truly made Superman a hero that I love. And as a kid, I didn't like Superman. I was always one of those people that was like, oh, he's too OP. But watching Superman by James Gunn, it made me really appreciate Superman and go like, oh, that's the struggle he has. He is overpowered, and he recognizes that. And especially Matt Reeves proving himself with the Batman, and how it's not you can watch, if you don't like Batman. I think what's special about the Nolan trilogy, especially mainly the first two, and Matt Reeves' Batman direction, if you don't like Batman, you can still watch it and enjoy yourself. That's what makes really good films, is that you might not like Batman as a character, but you don't watch it as a Batman movie. You watch it as like a crime drama when it comes to like The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, or like, you know, film noir in The Batman, like this, like, and the Batman is great. I think the casting is amazing. At first I was one of those skeptics on Robert Pattinson, but proven himself more than enough. Fucking fantastic. I love him to death. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Golly. I mean, perfection. She looks great. Colin Farrell is great as the Penguin. Oh my god, Paul Dano. Fuck, Quentin Tarantino. I like your films, but fuck you. Paul Dano is a great fucking actor. And Scarecrow proves it. Not Scarecrow. Riddler proves it. He brought Riddler and made him so much better than he was in the Arkham games or any other. And the last time we seen him was Jim Carrey's interpretation. And he just elevates that character. He made me love Riddler so much more. And, you know, Jim Carrey tried to be too much into that, like, playful Riddler. But we already had that in the 60s. Like, that Riddler was so fun and full of life and just jumping around and like, woohoo! Like, but we already had that. So now we actually have a serious take on it. And Paul Dano knocks it out of the park. Paul Dano is one of my favorite actors. I love Little Miss Sunshine. And one of my favorite films of all time, my top 3 films, is Love and Mercy. I'm a big Beach Boys fan. I love the Beach Boys. I love the, you know, Pet Sounds, Smile, Little Deuce Coupe, stuff like that. I really, really love Brian Wilson. Love and Mercy, even if you're not a Beach Boys fan or don't care, it's such a great movie just to watch. And, like, just like the 60s, and I love him as Brian Wilson. And that movie is just not talked about enough when it comes to his name. So Quentin Tarantino definitely doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, because as soon as I saw him in like the trailers and stuff, it was gonna be great. I already knew that as soon as you were like, oh yeah, Paul Dano is Riddler, you sold me. Like, he's just so good in it. I love it. I genuinely do. I think Paul Dano knocked it out of the park with that. Zoe Kravitz again is absolute beauty to watch on screen. Her, you know, love with Bruce / Batman, I think wonderfully done. I think it's the coolest looking Batmobile because it looks more like a car that's just like souped out. Like, it looks great. I love it to death. I think I think if the 2 other Batman movies come out, it's going to be a better trilogy than the Dark Knight trilogy. And that's hard to beat. So, you know, verdicts out, depending. I have no doubt the Batman 2 is going to be good or even great. The problem is topping the Batman because of how well it's done. And so far I just love it. Great job, Matt Reeves. I'm so excited. I'm glad that James Gunn read it and was like, yeah, this is going to be good. That gives me a lot more certainty. At least, you know, he's willing to share it with James and go like, hey, this is what we're working on. And James Gunn seems to be really on board with it. And as just like a fan. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to kind of ramble about these movies, give my hot takes. Maybe I'm fucking wrong about Zack Snyder and he's actually the greatest thing ever. But let me know. I'm obviously not trying to knock anybody for liking any of these movies. I'm so glad that and happy that you find that some people find enjoyment with the Zack Snyder stuff. I think that's great. I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I just need help getting it. So please help me get it. I want to like those movies. I want to be in, because who wants? If people are saying that they're good, I want to know why. Like, why would you actively not like something just because some like other people like it? Like, I don't get that. Like, like, I don't want to be on the outside. I want to be in. I want to be like with everybody else and like sing the praises that everybody else does. I just don't get it. So please let me know what I'm wrong about. Just some insight. Give me your hot takes. Give me your cold takes. Give me your lukewarm takes. I'm here for it all. Maybe I'll go over a video just kind of going over the hot takes of the movies. And let me know if I missed any. This list was made by somebody else. I obviously put their name on screen at the beginning. And a link to the tier list will always be in the description if you want to do this yourself. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and all that dumb shit. And yeah, I'm gonna go cry remembering that some Zack Snyder movies exist.